Talk to me about the role of the generations in revival. What does it look like from children to young people to the elderly? What does it look like? What does it look like as a family to steward this revival?
Historically, God uses children profoundly. In fact, the Welsh revival, the early 1900s, that move of God was noted for how many children, 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, were used profoundly in the revival, in spreading the move of God. In fact, in the French, I forget now the years, but a long time ago, the French actually had a revival in which it was the small children that were prophesying and declaring the word of the Lord. So we have to have a value that they're not going to be the church of tomorrow. They're the church of today. They have the same Holy Spirit that we have. And oftentimes the Lord uses them instead of a grown-up, because a grown-up knows too much, and the child is just willing to trust and follow. And so there has to be that kind of a value on children, on young people. Sometimes you get somebody just born again, they've got a rotten past, and they just get saved, and they have the word of the Lord for the moment. And it's up to me to recognize God's on that person. Doesn't mean I elevate them to an unhealthy position, but it does mean I recognize the Spirit of God is on them. So I have to have value for God using people. And there also has to be a great respect for the elderly. There's got to be a restoration of the generation. So I think this revival will actually have all those elements, where there's the celebration of children, the youngest children. I remember in our nursery, our nursery, the one who was running the nursery had the kids lay down for a few minutes to rest, and she put on some worship music. She was working at her computer, and she turned around, and there was a little kid on their knees, just lost in the presence. And sometimes they get it. They just get it better than we do. We need to be kind of pulled into it. And so anyway, I think the multiple generations in harmony will be a huge part of this that God's about to do.